It is January 1st and you are motivated. It is a new year and a new you. But let's get real. You on January 1st is the exact same person as you on December 31st, except you are one day older. You set New Year's resolutions every year, and yet every year you forget about them by mid-February. You are not alone in this. 41% of Americans give up on some or all of their resolutions by the end of January. Such a high percentage is not surprising. New Year resolutions rely on the fresh start effect. It's this effect that makes New Year's a great time to plan for change. Whenever you start at the beginning of something, be it the new year, a new job, or even just a new week, the fresh start effect kicks in. This practically unlinks the old you from the new you that is going to come after this big new start. While the fresh start effect is helpful in getting started, it's short-lasting. You've seen the pattern before. At first, you're all motivated to create this big change in your life. You're finally ready to get in shape, read more books, or pick up a new hobby. And you do for a while. But then you fall off track and throw all of those dreams in the trash with the rest of your unfulfilled dreams. But not this time. Not in 2025. You can make this year different if you start right. And I am going to show you how. This video is all about how not to fail at your New Year's resolutions. I am Layla from ShutUpAndAchieve.com, where I talk about building better habits, achieving your goals, and overcoming all of the obstacles that stand in your way. This video brings up a lot of points that are essential to success. I cannot go into detail about every single one, but luckily I have a channel full of videos related to success, habits, and goals. I mention a few of the relevant ones throughout this video and link to the rest in the description box below. And now, let's get to it. I've summarized the foolproof plan to achieving success in 2025 in 4 steps. The first is to work with yourself instead of against yourself. You can get disciplined, break bad habits, and build a routine that works for you. But it is not going to happen overnight. So instead of assuming that you're going to be reborn on New Year's Day as a new person who is perfect in every way, you're going to have to accept yourself with all of your flaws and plan accordingly. You are you. You will change and get better, but for now, you are who you are. Working against yourself is setting yourself up for failure. Is going to be a constant struggle to get yourself to do the things that you need to do. Instead, you should work with yourself. What are your current capabilities in terms of time, energy, excuses, and laziness? What things have you tried in the past that worked for you? What are the reasons you failed before? The answers to these questions will help you make a plan that you can actually stick to. We've established that you are not going to wake up on January 1st a new person. However, if you want to get closer to becoming the person you could be, I highly recommend checking out the Becoming Your Future Self Masterclass. In this masterclass, I'll give you a ton of strategies to grow past the person you are now who procrastinates, makes excuses, and never does what they say they would, into the person you know you can be. It'll help you unlock the achiever within and become your best self today before tomorrow. The link is in the description box below if you are interested. Now let's move on to step 2. You decided 2025 is going to be your year, and you are trying to change yourself for the better. You are playing the long game, and you are not going for short-term gain. And for that, you need a plan. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry said, "A goal without a plan is just a wish." A plan will keep you on track because you know what you're working towards and you know what you need to do next. The reason a plan is so essential is because it'll keep you on track. If you have a plan that extends from January to December, or even just January to June, you are more likely to stick to it than if you say, I'm going to eat healthy for the rest of this year. A good plan has milestones and things to look forward to along the way. You're not going to be the same person in March as you were in January. So in March, you're going to take it to the next level. If you keep that in mind, if you realize that if you put in the work today, you are going to be in a better place in a few months, you'll be more motivated to keep with it even when it's hard. Your first plan is not going to be a plan per se. Your first plan is going to be a general idea of where you want to be in each month. If you struggle with making long-term plans, I have a video that can help you out. It's called How to Predict the Future, and I linked to it in the card in the corner. A great tool that can help you plan for the next year is the Goal Tracker 2.0. This is a tool I created, and I use it to plan out my goals. I set the goal. Underneath that, I wrote the tasks that I need to do in order to achieve the goal. I have a start date, a deadline, a starting point. Then I'll break each task into subtasks, and I'll check them off as I go. This just helps me keep track of everything that needs to be done in order to achieve my goal. There are also spaces to outline your milestones. There are graphs so you can see how much progress you made, but I have a separate video dedicated to explaining the features of the Goal Tracker 2.0, and I'm not going to go into that much detail here. If you want your own Goal Tracker 2.0, you can get it through the link in the description box. Now let's move on to step 3. Step 3 is all about results. People start giving up on their resolutions within 2 weeks of the new year. To prevent this from happening, you need motivation. You need a way to keep yourself motivated until you have the discipline to keep yourself going without motivation. The most powerful motivator is results. Unfortunately, 2 weeks is not enough time for you to see any real results. However, if you can see the progress that you're making, you'll be more likely to continue doing the work that is leading to that progress, even if you don't have results yet. You need to see that the efforts you are making are paying off. One way you can do this is to write down how working towards your goals is making you feel. Has exercise made you feel better? Has working on your side hustle made you feel accomplished? Don't just take a mental note. Make it feel real by writing it down. If you want to know more about how progress can motivate you, check out the video that I linked in the corner. Another way to see your progress, and one that I have personally used, is the Habit Tracker 2.0. I'll keep this quick because I do not want this video to turn into an ad for all of my tools, but the Habit Tracker 2.0 allows you to see in color how many times you did the habit, how many times you did it but didn't do as much as you wanted to, and how many times you did not do it. You can also set goals for how many times you want to do the habit per month. There are also graphs where you can see your habits against each other, which ones you did, which ones you didn't do, if you met your goal or not. And that was a brief introduction to the Habit Tracker 2.0, and let's move on to step 4. Step 4 is about sustainability. The only way to stick to your New Year's resolution is if you make it sustainable. I am all for big changes, but not all at once. You do not go from 1 to 100 overnight. As James Clear said, success is the product of daily habits, not once-in-a-lifetime transformation. So how can you make your New Year's resolutions sustainable? Well, first, keep it small and build up as you go. This is the idea of micro-habits, and I have an entire video explaining how you can set your micro-habits and when it's time to take it a step further. In the beginning, you're going to be motivated and you're going to want to jump into the deep end. But remember, you are creating a year-long plan. You don't have to do everything all at once. Whether your goal is to eat healthier, read more books, work on your side hustle, or get a hobby, if you try to do everything all at once, you're going to fail. Instead, take it step by step. Ease yourself into this new lifestyle. I really recommend watching the videos on micro-habits because it explains taking it step by step in detail. Step 2 is to fit the new habit into your schedule. And this is related to working with yourself instead of against yourself. We want to become a completely different person in the new year. You're going to have to work with the schedule that you have now. If the change that you want to make doesn't fit on the schedule that you have now, I guarantee you it's not going to make it onto your schedule next year. People will create a schedule for the new year where they exercise for 40 minutes and spend 2 hours practicing this hobby and spend another 3 hours doing this. When you add it all up, they don't have enough time daily to get that stuff done. You still have to go to work next year. You're still going to have to do your chores next year. So take that into consideration when planning for next year. My final tip for keeping your habits sustainable is to create the optimal environment. This means removing triggers for old habits, like hiding the TV remote, and making new habits easier, like putting a book on your coffee table. I mentioned a lot of tools in this video that I want you to have. That is why I created a coupon code specifically for the people who watched this video and put it in the description box below. If you want 2025 to be your year, hit that like button. And of course, don't forget to subscribe.